cable's broken or needs to be lubricated. That's bent. Let's see how she does now. Feels pretty good, but who knows if it's enough. Guess we'll find out. the choke cable loosened up, but the throttle cable hasn't. So I'm gonna pull that off and try and run some lube through it, I guess. It's my fault for getting it hot. I'm gonna mark it too, so I know where it was. So I can put it back in the same spot. There we go. This little thing's pretty cool. So you just stick this on here and center down. Oh, it's not working, is it? The goal here is to get it to go inside the cable, which doesn't look like it's really trying to do. But I'm sure some of it got in there. It doesn't seem rusted, like the cable is not rusted. It's parked in a shed. That's better. I can hear it on the other end now too. So here, I'll try and show you. Through feels good. Still doesn't really seem like it's moving enough. Just ran fine all last year, and I didn't have to adjust any of this, so I don't know why it's messed up now. Guess just from sitting, maybe. Should be still coming up that much more. it's got so much more room to go. So that's too much. It's not like this is a braided cable, so it's not like it would stretch. Ooh. Alright guys, so it's been about a week since I worked on the zero turn. So here is all the parts that came in. We got our 20W50 hydrostatic fluid, our hydro filters, these two guys, oil filter, oil. I ended up getting a 2-pack of air filters because it was cheaper than a 1-pack. Fuel filter, plugs. And that's everything for servicing the engine and the hydros. The other things that I can do are belts, but they just got belts, or just got belts last year, so I'm not that worried about belts. I also ordered a I don't know if you can see that, a throttle cable, and realized that the old one is bent right here. It's bent real bad right in this area, so I think that may be part of the problem. We'll find out. Before I do anything, I'm going to blow this thing off. Try to keep dust from getting down in there. There's a hose right here. This is our oil drain. You can see where it comes out up there. So that's our oil drain. So I might jack the mower up on the right side to kind of drain it this way a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. See how much comes out of it. Man. Like I said, I did just run it, but there's not much oil coming out of there at all. Something with that. I'm gonna jack up the other side and let it drain for a while. Alright, that should be enough to get her going. It says it holds 2 quarts, and that's not coming out like it's 2 quarts. Just gonna use some soapy water to try and clean all this up. So I'm not sure if the hydrostatic jug, this little guy, has been leaking, because both of them are real dirty. So I don't know if the reservoir is leaking or something else is leaking. But I'm gonna just clean it all up. And then I'll probably take this with me and go pressure wash it here soon. I can't really run a pressure washer here yet, or a well pump. Can't keep up with it very well. Man. You know, this was serviced by a dealer before I got it. And apparently they can't read instructions. On the top here it says, do not top off, see owner's manual. And then on the jug, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. On the jug here, we've got hydro gear, full cold. This thing's cold. I mean, I let the mower run, but I wasn't using the hydros. I spun it around in the garage, that's it. So those are definitely not hot by any means. Yeah, these are not. Yeah, I mean, this side is disgusting. I don't know, like, all of that grime stuck to it. Dust stuck to it compared to this side. Got us a leaky hydro. So these air cleaners can be cleaned, but for how expensive they are, for how cheap they are, I don't think it's worth it. Not with how dusty of an environment I mow in. Like this, I mean, look at I doubt this was ever that color green, but this thing's, I mean, it could get blown out, but I'm just not even gonna mess with it. You know, I was just thinking about this. Hold on. Oh, that's fine. Wonder if there's an airlock. Okay. All right, well, I thought there might be an airlock from that being closed, but it's not draining any more oil now, so I guess not. Sorry, I just had to look this up. This is a oiled filter, pre-cleaner, so I'm gonna oil that in a minute. These get set to 0.03. So if you look on here, there's 20 and then 0.03. I don't know how well you can see it, but so that's what they get set to. So you just put your spark plug on here and you rotate this around and see how it's stuck. So this is set to 0.05 right now. 0.25, I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna wiggle it a little bit. Alright, so that's 0.03. Take this guy. Yeah, that's it. That one's at like 28. You wring it out thoroughly. I don't know what the instructions say. Doing most of this without a manual, but thoroughly wring it out. You're just looking to put a film on it so that the dust catches. It's called a pre-filter or pre-cleaner. You just want the dust to catch on something. So that's what you do there. There's your oiled. Let's see. There is your oiled pre-cleaner. All installed. I'm going to tighten up this drain plug. Alright, so right down in here we've got the oil filter. This down here, and hopefully I don't know why people always do this. with oil filters. They don't need to be on that tight. So I just fill it up to the bottom of the threads. So once the oil hits the threads, I do that and I let it sit for, I don't know, 2 minutes until, just to give the filter media some time to really soak it in. I probably should use a filter or a funnel for this, but it's all going to the same place. That'll do. And then you just take some clean oil, put it around the seal to help that surface seal and not be so abrasive. Yeah, see all those air bubbles coming out of it right up here? Just trying to purge all that air out. Alright, well, it's been a few minutes. I had the camera off. I'm going to go install the filter and fill her up with oil, and I'll bring you back. Okay, so we'll check it. So 2 quarts. It's filling a little full bubble. Fuel filter now. This is the fuel filter. This is the replacement fuel filter. So what I'm going to do is pinch the line off here and then take the filter out. These things are awesome. They're called hose grip pliers. A piece of the filter just broke off inside of there. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, it's a piece of the filter broke off. Alright, well, I'm just going to cut that in. So I put this fuel filter on here, and it's not a Kohler or any specific filter. I just needed something. They have an arrow on them. Tells you which way flow should be going. The arrow's pointing to the engine, not to the tank. air filter, fuel filter. What else do I have? Hydro and throttle cable. And the spark plugs. How dare I forget that. Man, that sucks. I just found a broken wire. I'll have to figure out what that's for. Let me get this oil pan drained and out of the way. Alright, so I decided to go ahead and do the transaxles. And the filters are the drains for these, so I'll do those one at a time, I guess. But I need to get these 1/4-inch screws out. This cover. Nice. Definitely needed to come off. And then we got our filters. Like I said, this thing was serviced at a dealer, but these are the stock. Oof. Those hold some fluid, don't they? Damn. That stuff is gooey. I'm gonna let that drain for a while. While it's draining, I'm gonna go ahead and do the spark plugs, I guess. Well, they're not loose in there, I will say that. Not the... Should be 5/8. There we go. Oh. These have been well used. Same. Yeah, look at the gap difference. I'm gonna try and show you this. Let's see if you can look behind this one. See what the difference in that gap is versus the difference in this gap. I'm not sure where the best angle is here. This is set properly. This is not set properly or burned up or used up, I guess. Well, it threaded back in real easy. Okay. Just glad that the threads aren't messed up. And then with these filters, we do the same thing. This is with every filter that I know of. It's got an O-ring on it. You give it some fresh oil. I airlocked the hydro. So there's a port that you're supposed to open up. It's 11/16. And you open up that port and then fill it. So you fill it until it starts to come out of the port, or until it's at the bottom of the port, and then you close the port and then fill it in the reservoir. So my bad, but it's nothing that can't be undone or fixed. From what I understand, it's on the inside. Yeah, I see it. Okay, I'm gonna use a wrench for that. Easier. As soon as I started pouring fluid in, I realized that it was gonna airlock. So I stopped and checked to see if it was flowing, and it wasn't. No doubt. Alright, that worked. Man, these little guards get kicked up. This just takes a long time to get through that system. Well, I need to do this spark plug. Oof. This one's pretty crispy too. Alright, so I figured I'd try and show you this. It's up in here, all the way up. I don't know if you can even see it. There's a little plug right there. Those are the fill plugs or top ports, whatever they're called. Just trying to get the oil to the bottom of that. And then closing it off from there. Trying to get my finger in there to try and see where it's at. Granted, I did spill a whole bunch of it. Alright, so I have the top port removed from the left side as well. I've already got that filter on, so I'm gonna start filling this side too. I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. If I steer it, well, not steer it, but it's gonna force fluid to move. Just like a steering wheel in a car. See down in there. I'm gonna be doing this for a while. I had to make a jumper cable for the seat safety. When I'm doing this, I'm watching this hose right down here. This clear one. Well, it's not really clear anymore, but you can see the bubbles coming up through it, and then they come out here. So I'm leaving the system sealed, and then I open it back up to purge any air that's trapped in there. And I'm gonna have to do this a bunch of times. Let's see if we get any bubbles out of it this time. I'm sure we will. Here comes one right now. I can see it. So we're trying to get rid of till there's no more bubbles. I'm gonna get everything buttoned up and we'll see how she does. See if maybe running it around in the yard will get it to bleed some more air out. I said I was going to get buttoned up and test it out, but I haven't even done the throttle cable yet. This one might be designed different. That thing's on there. There we go. Fixed it. Yeah, this one looks rough. Here's the difference. I wonder, this might have something to do with it. That's bad. I wonder how that happened. So I'll show you. So down in here, there's a screw that touches this, and this is what dictates throttle. So now it's at idle. Now if I grab the lever, push it all the way forward, one-handed. So it's all the way forward. So now this can't go any more forward. Maybe a little bit, but that's where it should be, is right there. So it's got just a little bit of play in it, but we'll see how that does. Let me see how much is moving, where it's at. Well, there's not much more room there for full throttle. That's all the way back off. Alright, I'm comfortable with that. I forgot to explain this well earlier. So here is the seat safety switch. So the seat needs weight on it to let the engine run. So when you sit, it creates your weight creates a circuit. It either grounds it out or creates a circuit. I'm not 100% sure. Well, I guess this kind of tells me it creates a circuit. Either way, by hooking these in, it thinks that there's weight on it. So that's just a nice little trick to jump it real quick. So you don't have to be sitting in it to do everything. Alright guys, well that's it for this one. Bad boy's all good to go, and I'm looking forward to mowing season.